How's it going, everybody? Season 2 of Severance, episode 5. This episode, it was good. It was like we're dealing with the aftermath of what happened in the last episode. It was not crazy like the last episode. The last episode, episode 4, was absolutely insane. This episode, we're dealing with the aftermath of what happened, and we're setting up for the future. We learned some new things about the Egans, Mark S.'s state of mind. We got some interesting insight into Mr. Milch, and we got to see Irving again. And there's more stuff in this episode, so let's dive in. So the episode starts off with this mysterious man walking into O&D. He's pushing his little cart, whistling. He's whistling the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Clearly, he's not severed because he knows music from the outside. He's got a good taste in music, too. He knows this song, and he's coming in, and they give him, like, a tray of dentistry equipment. So first thing I'm thinking of, like, the song is about a wreck of a ship. Nobody survived on the ship. Mr. Milch said that Irving went on a cruise voyage, right? So I'm thinking, like, okay, what's going on with that? Are they going to kill off Irving because, they're going to wipe him from existence, like he's never existed? And we know that teeth are an excellent identifier of an individual. If they were burnt or something like that, they go for the teeth. Are they trying to pull Irving's teeth out? I mean, we see Irving later on in the episode, so all that speculation is thrown out the window. So I don't know why he was whistling that song. Maybe there's no connection at all. So he picks up the items and he heads on his way. And that's the first time we see the export hall. He walks through the hall and he gets to the elevator and it goes down. I'm thinking, okay, this is the export hall. We're exporting items out of Lumon. You'd want to go up so you can exit the building. But he's going down, so it makes you think a little bit. Either the export hall isn't the export hall, or maybe they got tunnels down there, and whatever they're exporting, they don't want people to know. So they got to do it in secrecy, or we don't know what's going on. Sticking with Lumon, let's talk about Mr. Milch. We'll get to Mark in a little bit. I mean, because that's the bulk of the episode. So Mr. Milch, he's not like the rest of the Lumon employees. He's not head over heels for Kier or Lumon. He's not fully buying into all of this stuff, man. And that's cool to see. He had this genuine moment, this kind of genuine moment with Mark and Dylan and Helly, pretty much saying, yeah, Irving is not coming back. And he also tried to have another genuine moment with Natalie. He was like, hey, when you got those paintings, what were you really feeling? Because when I saw them, that was just kind of, what the frick is going on here? I thought Trump got rid of the DEI stuff. Why am I seeing myself as Kier at Lumon? You know what I mean? That's what he was trying to figure out. When he saw them, he immediately felt weird. He instantly recognized that it was manipulative, and he wasn't comfortable with it. And then he saw Natalie, who was in a similar situation as him, and he wanted to have this genuine conversation, a genuine connection. But, Natalie's in her corporate mode, and she's, like, talking like a robot. And honestly, dude, when Natalie speaks, it looks like she's about to cry at any second. But she was not at all receptive of what Milch was trying to do. And, hey, let's get on with this meeting. So it was a performance review. And this little Miss Wong, I think her name is, she's busy. She's saying he's using too many big words. He's putting the paperclip backwards on paper, so I don't know which side starts in the front and back or whatever. She's busy nitpicking him, but the major complaint, the main reason was the disaster that was the Ordbo. You can see that Milch is trying to do the best that he can to motivate Mark S. to get Cold Harbor done. Apparently, if Mark S. finishes Cold Harbor, it will be the greatest human achievement in the history of this planet. So he's trying to do whatever he can. And he's not as weird as Cobell, So he's trying to actually give some positive reinforcement here, give him an outdoor experience. But, that was a complete and utter disaster. And that's what they were trying to address in this meeting. So Mr. Milch is now going to, as he said, tighten the leash. Okay, so now let's move from Milch over to Helena, because this is where things get really interesting. So Helena's tempers are not balanced. And I find that interesting, which this means that they were balanced. So Helena's tempers can be balanced while Heliar's tempers can be imbalanced. So one is not dependent on the other. Even though they're the same person, your tempers can be balanced in your Audi while they're imbalanced in their Innie. Yes, things can pass through emotions. You can feel emotions from your Audi to your Innie and whatnot. But it seems like the tempers are relatively untouched if Helena's able to keep her tempers balanced on the outside, you know? So after this whole ordeal, her tempers are imbalanced. She doesn't want to go back down into the severed floor. She's like, yo, these people are animals. They try to kill me twice. My Innie tried to kill me. Irving tried to kill me. These people are insane. I don't want... And the fact that she says that shows how dense and brainwashed and how deluded she is from her perspective. Like, you were there. You saw they're not just animals. You can see the motive behind their actions. You looked at the security footage. You know Helly's motivations and why she was trying to do what she was trying to do. It just shows how people with different intentions see things completely differently. But it's hard. I've said this before on my other channel, Faith Quest. It's hard to change your worldview. Once you have a specific worldview, everything that you see is going to confine into that worldview. It's going to bend to fit that worldview. You're going to see things in a distorted way. It's very hard to change a person's worldview, and we're seeing that with Helena. All right, now let's get to the bulk of this episode. We're down in the severed floor with the Innies, and we see Heliar in the severed floor for the first time in a while, dude. And immediately you see the difference. If you didn't call a twist in the last episode, right now it's just like, okay, yo, how did I not see this at all? Because the way Helly walks, the way Helly talks, it's completely different than Helena. The acting is amazing. It's so good. The way she's walking down the halls, that's Heliar's walk. That's not Helena's walk, you know? So, and dude, Mark S. Think, dude. Just look and see. Just look. That's clearly Helly. How blind are you, man? Like, I get it. You're scarred, right? So Mark S. is pretty much off this entire episode. And the way he explains it is because Lumon knows everything. He feels defeated. They see everything. Everything. Helena told them everything. Okay? He feels like there's no point. The maps, the scouting, the different departments, everything that they're plotting and planning, they know everything because of Helena. So everything he's fighting for is pretty much gone. Like, what's the point? It doesn't matter anymore. Everything that we're doing, they're letting us do. So what's the point? They're in control. They know everything. And it's your fault. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. You were Heliar. I thought you were Heliar. And you were an Egan this entire time? Well, you're an Egan right now. Prove me wrong. You know? Like, he's not willing to see it because he's been hurt. He's messed up in the head right now, okay? And if he just opened his eyes and didn't let the fear control his mind, he could clearly see that's Heliar, dude. That's clearly Heliar. But there might be another variable involved here. I don't know. It might not just be the fear talking, the defeat talking. It could be the reintegration. The Innies requested a funeral for Irving. And dude, it's kind of weird, dude. They had a watermelon in the shape of Irving's head, and Dylan gave the eulogy. Dylan is awesome, man. And Mark S., he didn't even care to have the funeral. He was like, yeah, sure, as long as it's quick because we can get back to work. And he didn't really care to say anything. And he in the middle, right after Dylan finished talking, he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna head out. And then it's just like, dude, Irving is your friend. You literally have only had like a handful of friends. You've had PD, you've had Dylan, you had Irving, and you had Heliar. Those are your only friends. Those are the only people you know in your entire life. Like, and now you're not going to see him ever again, and you just don't really care? Mark S. is saying, yeah, well, I mean, he's not really dead. He's just not here. But what if that coldness, that detachment is not just because of his sense of fear and defeat? What if it's because of the reintegration? Because Audi Mark didn't know any of these people. Audi Mark doesn't know Irving. Audi Mark doesn't have any of these emotions. And we know the reintegration process is slow this time around. So what if some of those emotions, some of those lack of feelings are slowly transferring over into the Innie? if that's the case, you're going to see this detachment more and more. He's not going to be as close and friendly. The personality of Innie Mark is not going to be the same. It's going to be Aoife Mark on a mission in the severed floor. And so him not wanting to rekindle that little fire that started with him and Helena, maybe it's not just out of fear, out of that sense of betrayal. Maybe he genuinely doesn't have as strong of those emotions anymore because Aoife Mark doesn't know who Helena is. But Dylan was awesome in this episode. I mean, he's Dylan. He's always awesome. So he's in the break room still. Everybody, them two left. Helly and Mark S are talking in the hall, right? And Dylan remembers what, and you guys called this in the last episode in the comment section. You guys called this in my review. Dylan remembers what Irving said. Hang in there. Remember, hang in there. And then he sees the poster, the hang in there poster in the room. And he goes and he lifts it and he takes this little note from behind it, and it's the export hall. And there's a note written there. And it says, from O&D, first turn right, all the way down the hall, and turn right, turn left, down a long hall, and turn left, turn right, left, right, left, left. This is Dance Revolution prompts or what? Right, left, down, long hall, and turn right, then left, right, turn right one more time, and all the way down a long hallway. Irving is giving them directions to the export hall. All right, now let's head outside because that's where Irving is. Irving met up with Britt on the outside because, he's banging at Bert's door, and Bert was like, well, who the frick is this guy? I got to follow him and find out what's going on. So he's been following Irving around. He knows where Irving lives and everything. So they meet. Both the Audis meet. And crazy thing is, they told Bert why they fired him. They didn't give him an excuse. They actually told him the reason why they fired him. They didn't tell Irving the reason why they fired him. I can understand. I can understand them not wanting to tell Irving why they fired him. But they told Bert, saying that, hey, you had this inappropriate relationship with one of your coworkers. And he put two and two together, and pretty much he figured out the innies of Irving and Bert, had this relationship. And that caused a divide between Fields and Bert. Fields is Bert's husband. And so there's tension there. So now Bert has the brilliant idea of bringing the cause of the tension into the household so that they can have dinner together, dude. I'm curious to see if like the Audis are going to have a spark. I'm curious if anything like that's going to happen. But pretty much Bert wants to have this dinner so Irving can come in, they can talk, and they can explain what's going on, and, the situation can pacify itself, or they can try and pacify the situation over dinner, and, his husband Fields is not going to feel any type of way. But I'm really curious about what Irving is doing, because he thinks that he was fired because they found out what his innie was doing. So what did he think his innie was doing? What is he trying to do on the outside? He's clearly trying to investigate Lumon and what's going on because, he has that list of all the different severed people. And I'm very curious to see what he has in store because, we talked about the Moses symbolism with Irving. Is he going to somehow facilitate the freeing of the slaves, the freeing of his fellow innies? I mean, it seems like he is right now. And when he showed up on screen and you hear his voice again, that was really cool, dude. In the last episode, he's fired. You're thinking, man, dang, he might not be a part of the show anymore. But he's here. Irving is here still. And I'm definitely happy about that. But one thing I'm not happy about is this dude, this fool, Ricken. You're literally betraying everything that you believe in. What is wrong with you, dude? And his wife, Mark S.'s sister, dude, she's such a good character, man. Mark S., she's so cool, okay? This dude, Ricken, is just selling out for a paycheck. I mean, I understand. You've never made this much money before. You need to provide for your family. This is a creative venture like nothing you've ever had. But is it a creative venture if they're telling you what to write? You're not able to write what you truly want to write. You did that the first time around, and then now you're not just changing the language, you're changing the very core, the very essence of your work. He's literally writing the opposite of what he wrote before. and he's trying to psych himself into believing what he's doing because he wants this opportunity. Like, come on, Ricken, dude, what the frick is wrong with you, man? Have some integrity. But honestly, it's a little too late. They've already drank from the cup of revolution. The Indies aren't going back. They're not going to read this new edition of Ricken's book and be like, oh, now Ricken told me to be a compliant employee and, bow down under the umbrella of Lumon. They're not going to do that anymore. They're just going to be like, what the frick is wrong with Ricken? Yeah, I'm not listening to this guy. Honestly, Mark S. might, because he's in this defeated mindset. He's like, all is lost. Even the one that inspired me to think this way is telling me otherwise. I'm just going to fall back and be the goody two-shoes employee and continue on with my work because there's no point. It's like I can't fight the machine anymore. But what is Lumon thinking? Do they really think that other severed employees are going to read Ricken's book and then somehow, be driven to be even better employees and fall deeper under Lumon's grasp or whatever? No. The reason why it touched them so much and why they were motivated so intensely by Ricken's words is because it was a message of rebellion. It was a message of standing up. And what you're doing is the complete opposite. So it's not going to have the effect you're looking for. It's not going to bring out those emotions and that intensity that you're looking for. Now, the episode ends with Mark S., right? Mark S. has been taking these medicines. He's been drinking this weird, ginger-looking juice, for the reintegration, right? But it's interesting how the medicines are MDR blue. That's kind of weird. But anyways, he's been taking these. It's a different protocol for the reintegration. It's a much slower protocol, okay? But now it is the next step, You see him on the severed floor. He's getting the memories of his Innie. He's seeing the severed floor. He's hearing the wellness meeting with Miss Casey, okay? He's hearing her voice. He walks down the hall. He opens the door. He turns right, and there's Miss Casey. And he is tearing up. He hasn't seen her in so long, and now it's like proof. Like, I'm seeing the memories of my Innie, and he has seen Gemma. My Gemma is down there. And the episode ends. So now it's like the roles have switched from Innie and Audi. Innie Mark has given up, or is giving up. Mark S.'s Audi has now a reason to fight for, has purpose, he wants to find his wife. I'm curious to see how things play out. I honestly, I don't know if I really I like Innie Mark more than Audi Mark. But now it seems like we're gonna get to know Audi Mark more than Innie Mark, because now Audi Mark has a reason to fight for, and he is able to access Innie Mark memories. Are we going to see more of Audi Mark presence in the severed floor? With we're gonna see him interact with the rest of the employees. How that interaction is gonna go, I'm curious to see. At the same time, I'm gonna miss the old dynamic with Innie Mark, But then Innie Mark is not in the same headspace as he was before. So how is that going to interact with what's going on? What's going to go on here? Pretty much, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. How the dynamics amongst the team is going to change because of this. How Helly is going to react, and whether Audi Mark is going to reveal to Helly and Dylan who he is. That'll be an interesting conversation. That's the other thing. Is there going to be a dominant personality, or are they just going to combine into one? Is it going to be Audi Mark on the severed floor, or is it going to be a combination of the two? Is it going to be one Mark with both memories? From the way things are going, it looks like it's going to be the latter, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have a seesaw first. Sometimes it's going to be Audi, sometimes it's going to be Innie, and then we're going to balance out, and it'll be both memories colliding together at the same time. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the episode. I thought it was good. It wasn't as good as last episode, but it was still a good episode. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.